Hey guys, welcome back to my second video. So this was not really going to follow the same plot as my first one. This one's also going to be based on something that I love talking about. I love just talking about this stuff with people and kind of sharing my knowledge. Well, I don't know, that wouldn't really call this knowledge. It's more of, well, they're conspiracy theories. There's not really any other way to put them. So I don't necessarily believe in all my conspiracy theories, but I do love to talk about them, and some of them don't seem that crazy to me. Some of them I'm like, oh yeah, there's no way that's real. But then there's others and I'm like, maybe. There's a possibility. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm going to be talking about today in my video. This is going to focus on a a certain topic. So last week sometime, it was 9/11, and my only class that talked about it was health. We watched this movie on it and stuff, and it was great to kind of just watch it, and it was nice to see that people remembered. But then throughout the day, it wasn't mentioned, not even mentioned in any other class. And that was surprising to me because, growing up, my entire life, I was told about 9/11. I was told what a tragedy it was and how sad it was. And, it was just a really important part of people's lives. And it just, it caused, it just made such a difference. And, everyone knew about it that day. And so it was just shocking to me that no one else remembered. And I would even ask people, I was like, what day is it? Because I wanted to hear what people would say. And people were like, Friday, Thursday, or whatever day it was. And I was like, you realize it's 9/11, right? And they're like, oh, it is. I didn't even notice that. I'm like, it was so surprising. It shocked me. I was really, it didn't personally hurt me or affect anyone in my family, but it was just shocking and was hurtful because, of everything that happened that day. I mean, about 3,000 people lost their lives that day. So if some of you haven't heard the story, which I'm guessing all of you have, so it was a terrorist attack from the group Al-Qaeda, who hijacked 4 planes. One hit one of the Twin Towers and another hit the other Twin Tower. And then the third one hit the Pentagon and the other one landed in a field in Pennsylvania. And it was, it's terrible what happened that day. It was, very hard on a lot of families and a lot of Americans that day. And today I am going to be talking about a couple conspiracy theories about 9/11. And once again, not saying these are true, and I'm not meaning any offense towards anyone that was involved, because I understand it was a huge tragedy, and that is not what I'm saying in any of these theories. But I would like to share a couple that, they don't seem that far-fetched. So one of them is, this was all set up by the government, which once again would kind of make sense. It'd give them an excuse to go to war, without us being like, why are we going to war, and the thing is, at first you're like, okay, I don't understand why the government would do that. And yeah, it's kind of confusing to me too. I'm like, okay, I don't understand why they would do that. That doesn't really make sense. But then all this proof came up. So in past, disasters and stuff like that, and past things that have happened, things are usually being hinted. If you guys have watched The Simpsons, for example, they have hinted at a ton of things, like Trump's presidency and all that stuff. I'm not even going to go into that. But it's the same thing with 9/11 attacks. So I was looking into it, and there's a ton of cartoons, there's a ton of games, there were a ton of pictures that were inferring that 9/11 was going to happen. So there's this one, Johnny Bravo. Or Johnny Bravo, I don't know how to pronounce it, don't judge me, I never watched that show, so please do not ask me. But in it, there's this guy beating up another guy, okay? And in the background, there's this poster. And it's coming soon with the 2 towers, and it's on fire. And it's like, that's weird. And this was before the 9/11 attacks. This wasn't after, this was before. And same with The Simpsons. Once again, they predicted this. So The Simpsons were planning on going on a vacation to New York. And on the page, it has $9. Then in the background, you see the Twin Towers, which form an 11. And once again, this is before 9/11 even happened. And, there's plenty of other things like that. I mean, just look at like a couple of these. And so it was, it was kind of weird to think about, because it's like, what if this was actually planned? What if they were like slowly working us into it without us like actually noticing? Because like beforehand, you're not going to, like when it happens, you're not going to be like, oh my gosh, I knew that this was going to happen. It happened in my favorite TV show. That's not what's going to happen. And so they like slowly like introduce us to the whole idea of something happening to the Twin Towers and the Pentagon. And so that's one of the conspiracy theories. Another one, which I still kind of do believe in that one, or believe that they were kind of trying to like work us into it. I don't know. I'm once again not saying this is true. I'm just spreading the ideas. But another one is, it was like a controlled demolition, which is, so like when people are trying to wipe out a big building, they can't just knock it down, because there's going to be surrounding buildings around it, and they don't want to destroy the other buildings. So in order to keep it from falling over, they will set bombs on the inside of the tower, like around the framework. And they'll start at the top floor and not slowly, but they'll go through each level and set off the bombs, so that it collapses on itself. So it actually collapses. And if you think about it, a plane wouldn't cause like the entire building to just collapse. And I know they say it's because of other floors collapsing on each other, which is also a possibility. But like in this video right here,
as I stand on the Manhattan Bridge, which is closed, it is open to pedestrian traffic. Some people are working through, but there's just no way for them to. As I look at it, something is, I can't. It looks like that the building is going. Is that the building going down?
see how like the bombs, like it looks like it can be bombs going around on the sides, like on the corners. I mean, it's clear that it at least looks like that. I'm not saying that that's what it is, but it does make sense, and it does look like that. And so once again, that's not too far-fetched, seeing the videos. You know, like while you're watching, you're not going to be like, oh, this was planned, you know. It's later on when you actually start to like look the videos and the pictures, or maybe you watch an old TV show and realize that they were hinting at this the whole time. And that is just crazy for me to even like think, like, and I'm not saying that what happened that day was, you know, was just this whole hoax, because all the people that died, they're still dead. Something still happened to them. And it's, you know, it's not okay, like, with what happened, if it was from Al-Qaeda or our own government. But it would not be, as I said, would not be far-fetched if the government had been the cause of this. The reasons why, I don't have a theory for that. But, you know, government keeps a lot of things from us. Maybe there's something else going on that we don't know. And maybe that's one of the reasons they wanted to go to war. Why? Don't know. But, as I said, would not seem that far-fetched. It's still a tragedy. Excuse me. Can't English today. It is still a tragedy, but it might not be the way that we've been told. I mean, obviously, the government already keeps secrets from us. We already know that. I mean, you know, we can't just go along life being like, okay, everything they say is true. I mean, we've already, like, discovered that there's fake news, you know? I mean, for example, like, one time up in my old neighborhood, this house exploded. Man had tried to kill himself, and the house exploded, and when I watched it on TV, the story was all tangled. Like, yes, the basis was the man tried to take his own life. and he ended up dying later that night. Yes, they had the basics, but they did not have the accurate story. And so that's where my point is. So yes, those 3,000 people did die that day, but how it led up to that, how are we supposed to know for sure? We only know what the government tells us. We can't know anything beyond that because, well, they are very good at keeping us out. And it makes sense why they'd want to keep stuff away from us. I get it. But there's also some things that's like, we kind of do deserve to know the truth. And that's the video for today. Sorry if it wasn't, like the last one. I don't know if you like this one more or the other one. Please let me know if you like the conspiracies more or the deep thoughts. Either way, I'm going to be doing both, but whichever one is liked more, that's kind of the one I'll be extending on more. I'll do more videos. So, thanks guys. If you watched and liked it, that's great. Please leave a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to know when I'm posting more things. And the next video will probably be something more like a deep message, going off kind of like my first idea that I was trying to explain in my first video. Thanks for watching. See ya.